Ba 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 shoo ba ba boo ba shoo bow do bow do bow shoo ba bow do bow do bow.
Shoo-ba-ba-ba-ba-boo-da-bow.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-bum.
Shoo ba bow da shoo ba bow ba da ba bow do bow do bow.
Yeah, ba-ba-da-ba. Yeah, ba-ba-da-ba. Yeah, ba-ba-da-ba.
Oh, that's not good.
What's not good? What happened?
Wow, okay. Your
No,
camera
my-
was going like full 1 frame per second there, Mayo.
Stinking Wi-Fi.
It was like slideshow version.
You're getting all the frames.
Yeah, now I'm seeing it's quite a few pixels.
There were some
that good?
flashy lights, but you're still like, it's just foggy.
It's still hazy. Is the camera lens perhaps dirty by chance? If you like take something and wipe off the camera a little bit?
I didn't bring my.
'Cause it looks like it could be smudgy.
I didn't
Yeah, I
bring
think it
my-
was smudgy. Because it already looks better.
You ain't got your
between each
microfiber
frame.
with you? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't have my camera, like my actual like stream camera.
My guy.
Yeah,
that looks a lot better.
That looks much better. Yeah.
It's like you've arrived.
Hey,
Found your way through the Lost Woods.
if only I was up that point.
Look at this time I have a pillow to rest my arm on. Look at what my pillow is. Yay!
Pikachu will support your arm.
That's right. It's the perfect size. All right, folks, welcome to A4NB4Y, the Zelda theme podcast that's currently deep diving into Zelda Breath of the Wild. Last episode, we covered the first divine beast, Varuta.
Oh no.
And on this episode, we're going to be visiting Lurelin Village and Eventide Island. Two places that you might not even have gone to had you not seeked them out on your playthrough. They're not really necessary, and here we go. I'm Cameron Hagee, a guy that's doing a maybe okay impression of 50s radio, and these are my co-hosts.
Ryan Fonzie reporting in from North Akkala Beach. Here we have inclement weather and plenty of guardians.
Wow.
And I'll send it over to the news.
All right, it is Anthony with the news here. So I am here in the storm. It is fast winds, 65 miles an hour, not good for your crops. Take it back over to Cameron with the news here.
Oh, actually, you're with the news. I'm the weather, but it seems like you were trying to do my job for me.
Well, you should have been doing it.
You're right.
I think we were all the news, weren't we?
Yeah, we were.
This is part of the problem with our bit is that we're all just newscasters.
Breaking News Network, we're all the news.
It's the beach. The news is, or the weather. That's what matters.
Yeah. So we have a beachy episode for us today, where we covering the coastlines after we just beat Zora's Domain. So more water is involved in this episode.
There's so much coastline.
Mhm.
There's so much. I don't even know how many maps I had to get to look at the whole thing. But I mean, we're covering originally we were like, hey, let's do Lurelin and Eventide, but then in our schedule we had this term that kind of threw us off, and it was oceans, just the word oceans floating out there by itself. We're like, what does that mean? And what we landed on was, well, we're just gonna travel the whole coast.
So
clearly.
I think the entirety of the ocean is 6 towers of maps. So you need North Akkala, South Akkala, Heteno, Lineru, Faron, and whatever is to the west of Faron. The one by the desert.
Nakluda.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
6 towers.
Or wait, no, you said by the desert. That's
Like
Yeah,
past
I didn't
far
get
on,
that.
there's like past the Guardian quest. I think there's a tower over there.
I think Pharaon covers all the sea that's relevant, like all the sea that we actually need for this episode. But still, basically, Hyrule sits half landlocked and half on the sea. So, so we did cover roughly half of the outer edge of the map doing this. And I'll tell you, like, there's not actually that much content out there, but there is enough to talk about. And the one town and island that like are going to be our key points. We're going to show up maybe about I don't know, 2/3 of the way through this discussion. So, but we'll get there fast. As in 2/3 of the way down the coast. It's not actually going to be 2/3 of the way through the discussion. I'm sure when we actually get there, we'll talk about that stuff more. But yeah,
It's like questing for Murlocs and WoW, man, just down the coast.
let's get them. Let's get them Murlocs. Don't know what a Murloc is. Well, that's not true. I played Hearthstone, and the Murlocs were a pretty big thing in that.
Murgle Gurgle, exactly.
All right.
So where are we starting here on the coast? We're starting the north?
Yeah, we'll start in the north. We'll start right up at the Akkala Sea over here. So we haven't talked about Akkala a whole lot. I ran through it. I did some stuff, but we're not talking about that tonight. In fact, like if you were to run right up to there's actually a research facility up there. It's like Akkala Research Labs or something like that, Ancient Tech Lab. And if you just run past it and fly off the back end, you'll go to what is known as the Lomai Labyrinth Island. And this is a fun quest all in itself. This wasn't something we were going to talk about until we hit the word oceans and decided that this was in fact an ocean location. But it's super cool. I mean, this is one of those Zonai ruin type places. You come in here and everything is very strange, mysterious. I mean, it's just a bunch of hugely tall walls. You can cheat and like just go up on the top and solve the labyrinth from the top.
If you got the stamina, you can do it.
Yeah. I did not, but I also did just know where I needed to go this time around and just ran up to the left side of the labyrinth and got right in. Kind of cool. Kind of a cool labyrinth setup. Like it's literally exactly how it sounds, just big old labyrinth. You look at it on the map and it looks like something you'd have completed like in, 5th grade or something, like in a puzzle book. And so you can get in there, you can fight a guardian that's just in a big empty space right out front. You make your way around, there's a shrine hidden inside, and from what I remember, it's not anything complicated. I think it's a blessing shrine.
Yeah, I think you just walk in, get a chest, and you're good.
The shrine is the island.
Yeah. So then there's one other secret in this place, and that's after you've done that, or before, if you really feel like it, you can jump down a hole, and there's a treasure chest that's guarded by a bunch of, well, you don't know at the time, but there's like a bunch of deactivated, like, static guardians. And you like go down this hole and find this one chest in the room that's got a couple torches by it, and it's the diamond circlet that gives you guardian resistance. And the second you grab it, like 6 of these guardians activate all at once and start targeting you. So if you're like me, you hightail it out of there. You just run over to the airstream and fly back out of the room and escape that way. But
so do you know what else is in that room?
In the room with the diamond circlet? No.
If you have the DLC, you can go to the far edge of that room, which was utterly painful for me in master mode because the guardians just one-shot me. And I don't know if there's more for you or less for you in master mode or how that works, but there's 2 walking guardians. There's 3 in your way towards this treasure chest on the opposite side of the wall. If you can somehow make your way past all the guardians, you get a teleportation amulet, and it's like a little blue orb
I did not know about this thing.
Yeah, it's like a little blue orb. And basically what you do is once you get it, you can go anywhere you want, put it down on the ground, and then you can put it down in, Zora's domain, and you can go all the way to the plateau and then just use the teleport to go back to Zora's domain. It's like so useful.
Movable hots, like a fast travel point.
Mm-hmm. So if you don't have like a shrine somewhere,
I gotta go back is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I thought I'd never go back.
And I didn't know that was there at first. I didn't know what was in there. I was just exploring, trying to get some like Guardian parts, and I saw the chest.
That's got to be a DLC thing, right? I mean, that's not...
Totally.
Yeah, okay.
Because I don't remember it there before when I did it the first time through.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think I even had the DLC the first time I was in here, so I didn't even think to look for that. But that's really useful.
What's the reward for the actual shrine here? Is it a piece of like the combat gear?
I think this one was the Savage Lionel headset.
Yeah, no.
Or not the Savage Lionel headset. Sorry,
the attack up bone.
The barbarian.
Barbarian
headset. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
that is a really good
Lionel piece is like a Kilton thing, but it always reminds me of that because I mean I wear that headpiece if I'm gonna fight a Lionel. Like it's just part of the shtick. So I call it my Lionel headset, I guess.
Fight fire with fire.
Lionel with Lionel.
But yeah, we can start heading down this coast after we do our little Indiana Jones bit here.
It's not really like too much important. Like as we head down, there's not really any.
No,
there's a few shrine quests.
Yeah, a lot of empty coast, a lot of luminous stones. If you're looking to diamond farm, you can trade in those luminous stones over at Zora's domain. I mean, that could be my farm, but I really wasn't wanting it to be my farm. There is just a bunch of luminous stones right off that northern coast. But there's luminous stones everywhere, and they're not hard to find, so they're not worth.
I could talk about my cooking with Anthony since you mentioned something.
since you said words, you reminded me.
Yeah,
I also have words. Okay,
I have words.
Great.
And my words have to do with Kilton.
I do like Kilton.
So I don't know if you have an episode planned for him, but maybe we can save him for another episode. But there's this guy, and he has a shop, and he loves to travel to different places, secluded places. And you can purchase things from this man for Mon, which is basically monster parts that you sell for a currency. It's like a cryptocurrency in Breath of the Wild. And you can use this to buy certain things. And one of the things that I bought a ton of was the monster elixir.
Is it monster extract or something like that?
Yeah, like extract or elixir, one of those. And it's one of the key ingredients you can use to make monster soup, which is honestly just really funny. It's not a good health item, so I'm sorry if I don't have like a great boost for you guys, but like it's just really funny because every time you make it, it gives you a random set amount of hearts. You can get anywhere, I think, from 3 to full. Like it'll fully replenish every heart you have, or it could only give you like 3. It's just all random. And so like if you're in the heat of combat, you're like, oh, I need some food. And you're like, I need to full my health up. And then you get 3 and you're like, darn it. Yeah. It's really funny. A challenge mode.
It's a key item in a side quest we'll get to later on too. But I will say we don't have a episode planned for Kilton. I think we had like a Akkala in general kind of thing going on, but we might as well talk about him now since this episode will probably air. It'll be our first one for Spooky Month, which occurs in about 5 days. So
Kilton.
Little bit of background on Kilton. He's mysterious. No, just kidding. There's this Skull Lake up in Deep Akkala. Deep Akkala is like the north west section of Akkala. And as you go up Akkala, there's you'll find travelers who are looking for him, people who are trying to meet him and just haven't been able to find him. But they're like, he apparently hangs out at Skull Lake, but nobody else is at Skull Lake looking. One of the easiest times to get to this is if you go while you're doing the there's like another lantern or furnace quest for the tech lab up here, just like there was the one in Hateno. But it'll basically take you to a hillside where you're basically looking right over Skull Lake and all the things around it. So pretty easy transition to just run from one right to the other. Go to Skull Lake, you'll meet him the first time. He won't actually sell anything to you the first time. Like, he won't do business with you. He'll just acknowledge that you exist and be like, here's all the crazy places I want to go. And then he'll disappear, and then you have to go to one of those other places to actually do business with him. So I've done that as well. I have met Kilton, got myself a, Bokoblin mask and a Moblin mask so that I can run around depending on what's in the area without being attacked by hostile enemies. Every time I run into him, I go visit, and he doesn't have anything new for me, but I think that his inventory might be attached to the Divine Beast's progress, but I don't know that for sure. There's some kind of trigger that he has where he'll get more things available in his shop, but it's clearly not money spent since I've already bought everything he has at least once. So
yeah, I used him
yeah
as a strategy for something we're going to talk about later.
Okay. Sounds good. But that's the Legend of Kilton.
Kilton.
Yeah. I've bought a bunch of Monster Extract. I just haven't used any of it for cooking yet. So the next major landmark that we're going to come to going down this coast is the Wrist Peninsula. And this thing is just a gauntlet, and it's not even that tough.
Is that the spiral?
Yeah, it's the spiral. I used my sneak gear and just like grabbed the orb and pretty much ran through the night around the circle, and most things didn't see me. I got attacked by a couple of Stalblins that aren't normally there, which was a little bit frustrating, but they also just, like, with the speed up boost that you get from that armor set, wasn't an issue. Like, that nobody just caught up to me and did anything. So I think the worst was that there's mounted bokoblins. Like, there's a cavalry. Like, but once I knocked them off their horses, they weren't anything. They didn't keep chasing. So not that tough of a shrine. It was kind of fun, honestly. Like, I felt like I was on some kind of action-packed mission to get this ball to the middle of the spiral.
You know what else you can do here?
You
can take the ball, you can chuck the ball out into the water, and then you can use your frozen ability to create ice under it, and then run up and grab it and throw it again, and not even run around, and just kind of cut across the water by chucking the ball over and over again.
Yeah, and there actually is a shortcut.
Or maybe you could just launch it with a bomb at first or something.
Yeah, I'm sure you could just like stasis whip this thing right out into the.
Yeah, right.
Just golf it right over there. But I didn't do that this time. I just ran it. I didn't feel like losing track of where the ball was. And like
that can happen pretty easily.
Cryonis game. But yeah,
it's the Cryonis minigame.
That one, I don't actually. It is another blessing shrine. Like a lot of these are blessing shrines because the ocean's actually not that easy to deal with. Cool little spot though. A lot of people have. I mean, it's based on a real location. I don't remember where. I could probably Google it and find it in the next few seconds. Spiral Jetty, and it's Great Salt Lake in Utah. There's a Spiral Jetty, just a random, unexplained landmark. That's just a big spiral that goes out into the water.
Really cool, actually. Looks cool.
Get behind some spirals.
It looks almost man-made, but also not at the same time.
Right? Yeah. Super random. I wonder if it actually like there's something underneath there that's making that happen. They just haven't dug it up because it's too cool. So that's that. If we continue down the coast, there's the Tingle Islands. Well, that's what I mean. That's what they're colloquially called. I don't know what we actually. They all have their own name, each island, but it's right. If you were to start from the bridge that actually reaches out, there's Davdi Island, Knuckle Island, Ankle Island, and Tingle Island. And I don't know what all of those are supposed to be referring to.
I think David's got some tingly ankles and knuckles.
I think so.
Maybe.
Isn't there one of the tingles is called like Dave Jr. or something like that?
David Jr., ankle and knuckle.
So there's one kind of tiny one connected to Davdi or David.
Yeah, it says in Wind Waker his brothers' names are Tingle, Ankle, David, and Knuckle.
Yeah, and it's definitely David Jr. Which is like just a hilarious, I find to be a hilarious like joke that's just in there. To be like
Wind Waker joke.
Like, oh, all their names end with like LE except for David Jr. That's completely different. So he got his own island.
Or David Jr.
And yeah, Wind Waker references abound. I mean, they actually, it's funny because we went to Zora's Domain where you see all these references to other bodies of water from other games. But then you get to the ocean and it's just Wind Waker all the way down.
Mm.
I mean, there is, I'm not going to lie, Eventide, I'm pretty sure is supposed to be a Koholint reference. Because, like,
was that Link's Awakening?
And that you basically shipwreck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Link's Awakening. But a lot of the other stuff we're going to talk about tonight is going to be all Wind Wakery. But yeah, Tingle Island, I mean, that was a cool shrine to get to. Drop and Rise was the name of the shrine. I don't remember what I had to do to beat it, but I do remember having to run past a bunch of guardians on these islands to get to it. It's a fun set of islands. I remember I was hunting a shrine out here because there's another shrine in this area, but it's not until we're doing the DLC that we're going to see it. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's some NPCs out here who talk about this shrine. I couldn't find them. I went looking all around. I'm like, maybe they're not here yet. And then I looked it up and it was 100% DLC. And I was like, all right, never mind. That's for later.
Can't do it yet.
But yeah, that's another fun zone. I mean, like I said, there's not a whole lot to talk. I did it in just a few minutes because I just ran in and flew from island to island, knew where all the guardians were, and I didn't even have to fight any of them. So easy peasy, barely an inconvenience.
Barely an inconvenience.
Oh, we get past the Lanayru Sea, which is, kind of a
boring
Skyward Sword thing. And then, I mean, I stopped here at the Talus Plateau. I'm just going through the map right now. What's up?
Music Man himself is over by the little
Horon Lagoon.
Lanayru Inlet. Yeah. Cass.
Yeah.
Music Birdman?
Yeah,
Music Birdman.
There's a Cass shrine over here with the Master of the Wind shrine quest, where basically you have to blow up a bunch of rocks to open up some airstreams and make like a fancy glide. And if you make the fancy glide the right way, and you can't let go of your glider, you have to like land naturally. Like you can't just drop in the right spot, even though you know where the right spot is. You actually have to like glide the whole way, which I learned the hard way after trying this several times and landing, like a gamer. Just being like, no, you can't do that. You have to just use the glider the whole time. And then it finally opened up for me. But yeah, there's a Cass shrine over there in the lagoon. I didn't know if we were going to talk about that because it's not technically ocean.
No, I was just recalling what's over there because there's really not much until we get all the way around.
Yeah, but on the big Lodrim Headland, Talus Plateau area, there's a big old Hinox and a Lionel as well to fight, which was pretty fun. Taking out that
haven't fought a Lionel yet.
It's this big hole. I don't blame you for the game you're playing. I don't think I would have fought a Lionel yet. I fought in several in my own game so far.
You got to get real good at weaving those random arrow shots in there to stop his health from regenerating.
I'm not gonna fight a Lionel yet until I have all over level 50 gear.
Okay.
And once that happens, then I'm going to fight a Lionel.
So like after you visited the castle the first time.
Well,
Let's get your
I was
Hylian shield.
I was gonna save this for later in the episode. Some really good finds that I got. So I'm not sure if they're in your guys' game, not in master mode, but it's on the very, very western edge of the sea. So I will save them for later. But they're pretty darn good.
All right. So we can continue our way down, and we'll actually start to turn the coast because there's a big corner over here. And we'll come back to some familiar places we've already talked about, like the Hetano Bay and Hetano Beach, which is where, we had to fight off some monsters for the ranchers over there. But because I've already done that, I'm not going to talk about it again. I'm seeing some cool stuff on this interactive map that I did not find while I was playing. So I got to go deal with that. There's the Tinoco Island, which Cam talked about when we were doing the Hetano episode. It's a major test of strength out in the middle of the ocean, and if you do it, you get the climbing gear chest.
Yep, the chest piece.
So that's pretty dope. Did that. That's how I ended up getting to Eventide as well. Was starting from that island and cryonising my way out. Because I don't use Korok leaves and rafts as much. I just do leapfrog game.
I did the bomb blast off of the other shrine that overlooks the island.
Okay.
And then I had to eat some food to get more stamina back during it because I don't think I did the bomb blast very well. But I tried for 5 minutes and just couldn't get a really, really good one. So I ate food and got over there.
Nice.
I was soaring.
Soar and soaring. That's how the bomb
broke my wing.
So Fonzie,
what's up?
Would you mind if I dropped a Fonzie farm?
You have a Fonzie farm?
I do.
Okay.
So, right off of the Muo-jim shrine, it's literally the top of the cliff, like overlooking the ocean for Eventide. If you just drop off that cliff, you'll see a bunch of seagulls swarming the ocean under it. And if you look right under the seagulls, there's about 30 to 40 little fishes just swimming about, just in a circle right there, like a little feeding frenzy.
Okay.
So one good place bomb, and you got like 30 to 40 fish.
Are they all porgies?
Yeah, there's some red ones, some blue ones. I think there's some red basic ones. I caught a couple armored. Don't remember what else was there.
It's kind of cool because that kind of mirrors reality a little bit. I don't know how much seagulls do. I imagine seagulls do it a lot too, but a lot of times you can find where there's a lot of fish based on like where the birds are when you're actually out on a lake. Like there'd be cormorants, right? That'll go out and you'll see a swarm of them all in one area, and you can tell that there's like minnows and basically bait fish out there because that's what they're doing. They're diving down and eating a bunch of smaller fish. So it makes sense that they put a bunch of seagulls in a spot over the fish because the reason for that behavior is because that's the food. Like the seagulls are after fish.
Yeah.
I mean, they wouldn't be after the porgies in this game. They would be way too big for those seagulls. But I mean, hey, there must be some reason that they would be there.
Yeah. They're trying to get fed for a week in one day, man.
That's a cool environmental notice there.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because in Wind Waker, they use the seagulls to show you where the giant squids are. Like you'll see swarms of seagulls out at the sea, and it's kind of the same concept. But for something like that, I mean, that reminds me of like whale hunts, right? Like when whales like pot up and like get a bunch of fish to come to the surface, you'll see a bunch of birds come in to try to like grab some of them fish too because they know that's happening. That kind of thing. So maybe like that was the going theory was like, oh, if there's some giant water creature hunting smaller ones, like you put a bunch of birds out there and it's like, oh, that's how you know where they are. So cool stuff.
I did not know that.
I actually I did not have a I didn't have a traditional Fonzie's farm today. So if we want to do Fonzie's farms, like my whole thing was going to be fishing tips.
He's about to drop the spot for more items to get through and beat the plot. So you better listen to his words, cause he's about to tell you where to get the herbs. It's Fonzie's farm.
Because there's fish everywhere. Like you go, I mean, if you're out at the shrine making your way to Eventide, you're going to pass a bunch of fish. If, you're over at Lurelin, which we haven't even gotten to yet, there's just fish everywhere out in the water. Whenever you're by the sea, you're just going to be seeing fish constantly. So, I mean, you already mentioned a one well-placed bomb, and you can just get a ton of fish that way. Another great one to use is shock arrows, because when it hits the water, it becomes a bomb, basically.
Yeah.
So you can do that. I mean, especially if you have like a triple bow or something like that, you can just hit a bunch of spots real fast if there's a lot of fish in the area.
I wonder if you could use like a thunder rod too.
I think with a spearfishing, I think you can, but I don't know if it does the effect the same way. But I just don't remember for sure. But I think that works. Like I think that's one of the things. Because you can go spearfishing too. It's like less efficient than just using a bow, but
I did not know that.
Because you have to retrieve the spear every time you throw it into the water.
Oh, geez.
I mean, you can hit the fish with whatever you want. You can hit them with a sword if you want. If you're in a place where you can wade, you can just kill the fish. The other thing you can do, this is a funny trick that people found, is if you actually if there's a pond, or even if you position yourself right using Cryonis, or if there's just like a little island somewhere, and you whistle, you can actually scare the fish away from you, and they will beach themselves. Like they will go up onto land and start flopping around, and they're really easy to catch if you do that. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, so that's a fun one. Like I didn't realize you can actually just scare the fish.
Silly fish.
On the opposite side of that coin, if you swim wearing sneak gear, it actually works as sneak gear in the water too, so the fish won't even react until you're on top of them. You just catch them. So,
what is that shadow moving?
So those are some good. just Fonzie's Farms is Fonzie's fishing today. Just thumbs up guide service over here.
Fonzie's fishing.
But yeah, good stuff. But yeah, if you guys want, we can actually jump right into Eventide. I don't think anybody actually gives you an Eventide quest. I think you're just supposed to see the island and get curious.
There's a guy in Eventide there's a guy in Lurelin Village that mentions Eventide. Okay. There's not a quest to go there, but he talks about it. And then by that time, I'd already beat it. And he's like, "Whoa, you've been there? That's awesome." And I was like, I really wasn't that awesome, in my opinion. I just dislike this kind of thing. Where it's like, hey, I mean, it even tells you, it's straight up in the beginning. It's like, oh, you've come to rely on the things you found in your journey. It's like, yeah, that's kind of how a journey works. If I had the same amount of things as when I started, I kind of wouldn't have gotten anywhere, huh? And it's like, why don't we just take those away for you could start over again? I'm like, no. And so I did it anyways.
But
the first time I ran into this island in my first playthrough of this game, I got to it, I read that message, and then I came back after I beat the game and had played it a lot and was like, I guess I'll go to that island. But that's how much I dislike the concept of this in this kind of game. Just take everything away from me and make me do it all over again with crap.
I think my least favorite part about this game mechanic that you're talking about is that you don't keep any of the stuff, even if it was better than the stuff you came in with.
Right.
Like
that too.
I think that bothers me. I don't think I kept even the food and stuff that you pick up along the way. It's like, nope, you didn't actually need that from it or whatever. Yeah. It's like we're gonna trade this temporary inventory that you've been using back for your original stuff, and you don't get to choose to keep any of it. That's frustrating. Because you do feel like you've earned it all, I think the only thing you can keep is rupees. It's not even a thing. Rupees won't save you here. But it's I enjoyed this mission. I mean, I came in, made my way down the coast. There's
making my way down another coast.
There's a mini like mountain on the southwest tip of this place, where there's just a little camp of bokoblins, and they do have one of the things you need, because there's 3 orbs and 3 places to put the orbs.
Receptacles.
Yeah, and one is in this little bokoblin camp. One is hanging off the neck of a hinox.
The north end. Oh,
what?
One of the receptacles off the north end of the island. I thought that's what you were going to mention.
Oh yeah, one of the receptacles is off the north end of the island. Yep. Sorry, I wasn't talking about receptacles yet. I don't even remember where most of them are. And then there's a third one that's actually in a base. Like there's like a big enemy camp, like with wooden ramps and everything, and they have an orb as well. And all the receptacles are like bottom level, so you don't have to worry about like climbing with the orb or anything like that.
No, one of them is up towards the camp.
Yeah.
Oh, the one
on top of the mountain.
The one on top of
It's
the
like the
mountain.
one-
There is okay. Yeah.
The southeast of the island. But there's a nice ramp that leads up there if you find it, so it's not an issue.
Oh, they don't have a ball, do they? They just have the receptacle. So the Hinox has a ball. There's an enemy camp that has a ball, and then maybe the camp on Koholit Rock has the third ball.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you guys, but the trick to this island for me was
Bombs.
Well, bombs, yes. Bombs are a great way to keep resources. On the where we were talking about that southwest mountain, just north of that on the beach, like right, if you just go straight down, like straight to the beach off the top of that, there's a raft just on the corner of the beach that's like set up there as if somebody had journeyed here and just like either got lost on the island, or it's kind of set up for you to take it and leave the island, I guess, if you want. But right next to that raft is a rusty sword. I think it's even like a rusty claymore or something like that. It's just chilling, like half in the water next to this raft. And the thing about having a rusty item is that it's no good unless you can find a Octorok that's actually like one of the rock versions of an Octorok. The ones they'll actually suck in and shoot rocks at you, or they'll, while they're sucking in, you can throw a rusty item in like to them, and they'll ingest it, clean it off for you, and then spit it back. And I think I actually had a rusty shield that I sent to this guy, but it came back as like a traveler shield. It was nothing special.
You want that royal shield?
I found this this rusty claymore and tossed it to him. And he's right off the like right side of this ramp. Like you get this thing, you start running up the ramp again, just make a quick right and you'll find this guy. So I threw him the sword. And so, okay, let me just frame this out. So I throw him the shield first, and he spits it back, and it gives my guy the option to pick it up as if it's flying by my head. I'm like, okay, like it said like A to take or whatever, but I missed it, and it just went flying by, and I had to like run down into the water and find it and grab it. I'm like, this wasn't worth anything. Like, I don't know why I even bothered with this rusty shield. Came back, threw him the rusty claymore, and I'm like, this time I'm gonna catch it. For sure. I got this. When it comes by, I'm not even going to worry about it. Dude spits out a royal claymore. Thing comes flying by, takes like all but half of a heart, and I go flying into the water myself. I'm like, but at least I got this mega sword, and I didn't die.
Got the sword.
So I had to, like find a place to cook, eat some fruit, do some whatever. Get myself back up, but that royal claymore was everything. Like I went down to the Hinox and just destroyed him, cut his toes away, and he fell down like a giant. He fell over like a giant avocado sitting in a sacred grove. So
You pulled the penguin strategy from Skyward Sword.
pretty much, yeah. That thing does massive damage. So that was kind of like the hack of this place, because like when the first time I came here. When like my first playthrough, the big question was, how am I gonna fight that Hinox? Like the first time I tried, like I think I actually did okay doing the survivalist thing, but then when I got to fighting the Hinox, I ran out of weapons, and I was like, what am I supposed to do now? I don't want to just bomb a Hinox, and I think I ended up having to bomb a Hinox, which is not.
I bombed that Hinox a lot. It was very annoying.
And this time I like had the same question. Okay, this time I'm gonna try to save up everything. I'm gonna bomb everything else so that I'll have what I need to fight the Hinox. And then I found this Royal Claymore, and I was like, all right, game on. Like we got the missing piece of this puzzle. It's just hiding over here by this raft. So it made the rest of the adventure a lot easier. So that's my little hidden tip of this place. And that's kind of my story for this place too. I don't know if you guys had any special experiences this time around.
I don't know if Cameron did, but I had a special experience. Master mode.
Do it
Master
up.
mode, Eventide.
Master mode. I'm gonna skip all the details because you pretty much covered it, but I tried power in this place. I tried to do power and power my way through. I figured I got good enough with combat in master mode that I'm gonna power my way through. I got so frustrated because I kept dying and dying and dying. And I looked on the map and I had like 7 red X's on the island. And I was like, nope, this is not working for me. So I stopped powering my way through. I had so many different scenarios where I'd get 2 out of 3 or 1 out of 3 or 2 out of 3 again. And I was like, no, I can't do this. So I came up with a strategy for the island. I mapped out the island and I'm like, okay, I need a path. I needed to get in and get out. It was like a stealth mission. So the first thing I did was grab the Bokoblin head from Kilton. I did that whole quest in Akkala, grabbed the Bokoblin head, got to that camp. I sneaked my way in, grabbed the orb, got it to the north end of the beach. Then when I got to the top of the camp where like the Moblin is, I don't know if you guys have a Moblin up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got to that very top, what is it, like Coho Rock or something?
Koholit Rock, yeah, that's why. That's the reference to Koholit Island.
Okay. Yeah.
Real quick, how did you use any items from Kilton when you lose all your items when you get here, though?
No, you know the cards for amiibos?
Oh, okay.
You can drop that. So if you unlock it, you can drop it.
You can drop the cards?
They still don't help.
Using amiibos for Eventide Island?
They still don't help. So all the Bokoblins are silver.
Okay.
All the Moblins are silver. So it doesn't work. Like I tried claymores. I tried to kill the Hinox. So I climbed up the back of Koholit Rock. And there's like you have to like use the stasis to like get the rock up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I got that tower down. And you don't even need to fight the Hinox at all. All you have to do is use the bow and then just jump down off that rock. Go to, what do they call it? Like
slow down mode, whatever.
Bullet time.
Yeah, slow-mo mode. You can just hit the thing, the little receptacle thingy, and it drops off his necklace.
Just hit the orb.
Really? You can just shoot the orb? You don't have to shoot the necklace itself? I kind of thought maybe you'd shoot the necklace.
You shoot the orb, and it just breaks off the chain, and then you can just take it back up.
Because I think you can cut the ropes on the necklace, too. But that, I mean... that
so he drops, like, the weapons and the orb, and so you can just go up there. And that's how I did it. I used my wits instead of using strong bronze because it was not working for me. And no amount of combat. Like, there was like 5 yellow slimes, like 6 silver Bokoblins on the top of the camp. There was a silver Moblin. There was like 3 or 4 silver Bokoblins on the top of the camp with like 2 blue archers. The beach had like all black. All the Bokoblins were black on the beach. There was like 2 to 3 like of those like archer platforms, like on the Octorock thing.
Oh no!
Just chilling by the is it like the south of the island where the yellow choo-choos are?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the actual camp itself is filled with just silver bokoblins. So I tried combat, and I like no weapon. I had like a level 70 claymore. I got overwhelmed, so I was like, no.
I can see the pain in your eyes as you tell these stories. I feel like I'm talking to a veteran right now.
It's like Mothula all over again.
Oh no.
I'm glad you made it through. Did you actually finish the island?
Yeah, I literally finished it yesterday.
Oh geez.
I finished most of the island most of the beach by like weeks ago. And then I went I did some of the stuff last night. I did the Kilton thing last night. And then I finally finished Eventide last night. And it was just pain. I mean, I'm sure Cameron with the bombs, that must have taken quite a long time. Like excruciatingly, painfully long time. So I guess you could feel my pain as well.
It was like a 10-minute Hinox fight.
Yeah.
And it was all just repeating the same inputs of pull out bomb, throw a bomb, blow up bomb, switch bomb, pull out bomb, throw a bomb, blow up bomb, switch bomb, pull out bomb, throw a bomb, blow up bomb, switch bomb.
I've done it. I've done it on Eventide, and I've done it in the Trial of the Sword, because there's like a Hinox you can do that to there as well. But that's gonna be a way later episode for us.
I should have done what you said. And there was a part of me that even thought, like, I should go through and do everything else on the island and get a giant repertoire of weapons to take this guy out with. But I was like, I got bombs. So as soon as I found him, I just bombed him down, man.
Yeah.
And like, it sucks when you do that too, because I spent so long going through the island, gathering all the health items. I used all 30 of my amiibo cards, and I had this entire inventory. I probably spent an hour gathering items on the island. And then when I finally got 2 out of the 3 stones, and I got to the top of the camp, it was lightning outside, and I started to spark, so I took all my weapons away. And I was in the middle of a fight with bokoblins and the moblin when I took all the weapons away. And so I tried to run, but one of them got me with the spear as I was running away, and I was like...
Yeah, when you die on this island, it is painful. I died once, the first attempt. Right? Yeah, full reset. You get kicked off the island and you have to like basically re-enter. Yeah, it's rough. But
other than bombing the crud out of that Hinox, I pretty much ran around the island and powered everything like Mayo tried to do on Master Mode, but I was able to do it on normal mode. Just every camp I found, just killed all of them and did my thing there and then moved on.
Yeah, there were a couple camps that I started with stealth, but then it devolved into action like like an Uncharted game or something. Like it just straight up became a arrow fest.
Yeah. An interesting island, though. And then the shrine pops up at the very tippity top of the rock towards the southeast of the island.
Yeah.
And we go in and we get something. I don't remember what reward we got.
It's a blessing, but I don't know what's in it. I don't know like what the treasure was in it other than that. It might have actually just been money, which would have been really upsetting if that's...
Oh, yeah. Now that you mention, I think it is like 300 rupees or something you get for it.
Yeah, but you also get the experience.
Not even good.
I mean, that's like worth it all on its own,
Sure. Go off, my guy.
Well, the other thing that you get is a flight mini game, which is pretty fun. Like the ring course.
Oh, it's like the Koroks where you got to go through the rings.
Kind of. I mean, this is Mimo. It's a Rito that shows up on the island. And they set up a ring course that is basically like a flight course. You can't see it unless you actually start it, but if you go talk to them, they have this flight mini game that they're running.
I never knew there was stuff on that island.
Yeah. In fact, if you fast travel to the shrine, he's standing right outside the shrine, so you don't even have to like go back into the fray or anything. You can just talk to them and they'll do this mini game. It's a mini game just for money. Like you spend maybe 10 or 20 rupees to play, and you can make more than that. You can make a profit playing it, depending on how many rings you fly through. And the music for this mini game is choice. Like, it's so good. Like, go back and play it if you've never played this mini game. You'll be like, wow, this island became something fun. So
maybe
I gotta do that now.
it helps. I mean, honestly, after the frustration of having to beat it, like, it's kind of nice to have something that's like nostalgic in a way, because it reminds me of the flight courses in Wind Waker and stuff like that, except better than that. And I don't know, like some other game. It's almost like I don't want to say Spyro, because it's not the same pace as Spyro. Like, you do not glide at Spyro paces, but that's kind of what it's like. It's just going through all the different rings and choosing a path. There's like 2 different paths you can choose, but they're both available to you. And the goal is to get like 20 some odd rings in one go, which I don't think I've actually accomplished yet, but it's a fun game.
Maybe you get a heart piece if you do.
It's not really how they work in this game.
I guess.
But
The
next thing that we'll find or the next place that I think we're scheduled to go after that is our Lurelin village.
Lurelin.
Yeah. It's good stuff. So Lurelin, when you first get there, you may or may not notice, because it's a wonderful little beach town that they have going on, but it maps 1-to-1 on the map of Outset Island from Wind Waker, like to the detail of, they have like a watchtower on the one end, which is like right where you start the game, where Arrow comes and wakes you up in the Wind Waker, and like from there you can actually look around and see the same docks, the same like hut locations around. Like, the only thing that's like different is, there's no big like forbidden forest up above that you can just kind of like, ramp your way up to or whatever. Like, there's no, like, the upper section is missing, but the actual like town layout is pretty much the same. So kind of a cool thing to see. The people here are nothing like the people on Outset Island, but it's just cool to see that referenced as well. Like, it's very, very nostalgic. We have a list of NPCs here. I mean, this is kind of like the actual. I mean, I know that we just talked about Eventide and how great that was, but this is like the actual meat and potatoes of our episode here. So, NPC wise, anyway, I will say. So the first NPC that I want to talk about, just because we've already met his daughter in Hiteno, is this guy Rosal. So yeah, we meet Rosal. He actually has a raft that he's willing to lend you to go on a treasure hunt. But he also tells you about his daughter who's living in Hiteno because she got married and moved there. So he's Rolera's father. And so he will do that. He'll send you out to what's called the Golden Triangle, which is a triangle of islands out in the ocean, and you can get 4 treasure chests out there. I ended up getting like sapphire, a couple of topaz, and some other random thing that wasn't worth quite as much, but kind of a cool little treasure hunt. It's beautiful out there. I mean, there's like coral that you can see clearly under the water and everything. And it was just fun to like take the raft and just like, Wind Waker your way out to the middle of the ocean. If that's how you chose to do it. That's how I chose to do it anyway. I don't know if you guys even went on this treasure hunt, but
I haven't done that yet, no.
It's fun because you like if you do it the way the game like is suggesting, you'll raft your way all the way down like out of this harbor out into the ocean with like a coral leaf that is just chilling there. And I don't know, I enjoy it. It's a nice little chill adventure because you don't have to. There's treasure chests all along the way too that you can find if you know where to look. But it's fun. I had a lot of fun doing it.
Definitely gonna try that out.
Yeah. If you look at the interactive map, even you can just see what I'm talking about with the triangle of islands and everything. All the treasure chests out in the middle of it. But the underwater reminds me of the Nehru Sand Sea. Like, it's got all the colorful coral and stuff like that underneath it. It's pretty cool. So aside from him, there are a few other mentionable characters on this beach.
Wow.
Cam, what do you got going on over there?
I mean, if you want me to get up and drag my gimpy arm over to my couch where my phone is to turn that off, I could, but it's not even around me. It's just really loud at the moment.
Just wow, just every once in a while.
Someone trying to get in touch, man.
It's all good. It's all good. I get it. So one, I'm gonna save. Trying to figure out what the best way to go about these characters here. One thing that's been going on the island is there's a treasure chest mini game run by Cloyne.
Love that guy.
And I lost a bunch of money on that game and decided not to play it anymore.
I lost once and decided not to play it anymore.
I played like 3 times in a row and lost every time, and I was like, all right, probably not worth it anymore. Statistically speaking, I feel like I could have won this once by now, and I did not. So I was just like, I don't know how much you get for winning. That's part of the problem.
I made 180. I think it was 3 games, and then I dipped.
Okay.
I was like, I'm my luck. I'm gonna lose it all, so I dipped. So I don't.
Yeah.
I got up to 180. I don't know how much you can win.
I don't.
Well, that wasn't including what I put in, so maybe like 100, 120.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he has 3 different tiers of games. Like I think you can give him
520 and 100 or something like that. 520, 50.
Yeah, and I think I might have bet either the middle tier or the max tier and just lost every time, and I was so mad. But also on this island is Numar, who is a gambling addict, apparently. He's like, he's like, oh man, I just need, he basically just asks Link to spot him every time you talk to him. He's like,
I need to open a chest, man.
More rupees, and I can pay you back tenfold. I gave him 3 chances as well, and he lost for me every time as well. So this island, this town was not very lucrative from a gambling perspective. Like I had rupees to spend. As you guys know, this has been like a very rupee heavy playthrough for me, just because I'm playing a lot of extra time for streaming.
How rich are you?
But you both had fun, didn't ya? Didn't ya, with matters?
Well, that's the thing. Like with all the quests around here, I made the money back. Like I got more than I spent overall being here, but I did spend a significant chunk of rupees, and none of them came back when it came to gambling. So I did stop doing that. But I did enable Numar's habits a little bit. I was like, I have faith in you, Numar, and every day he come back the next day. Oh man, wasn't my lucky day, but you know what? Just 100 more rupees, and I swear, man, I'll get you 1,000. I'm like, all right, Numar, we're just gonna call it quits for now. I think the last time I tried, the last time I tried to give him rupees, he started talking about this Lover's Pond instead, which is a spot nearby. So he gave me a little side mission. I don't know if you guys went to Lover's Pond.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I visited.
Yeah, there's a quest up there. Basically, there's a Gerudo and just a Hylian dude standing on opposite sides of the pond, both kind of like having this like, oh, I'm too afraid to go talk to them. Oh, why won't they come over here and talk to me kind of situation. So the Hylian will give you a nightshade flower and be like, oh, like I brought this for the girl I would meet here, because that's why you go to Lover's Pond, is to try to meet your soulmate. It's like, but I'm too afraid to go over there. Can you take it for me? And so you agree, and you go and you take over the nightshade. And then the Gerudo's like, this isn't how it's supposed to work. Like, you're supposed to come over here and ask me out. And then he was like, of course I'll go out with you. Like, basically as if she just asked him out or something. She's like, here's what you're supposed to say. And then he just took what she said as what she was saying. Is like this goofy little rom-com that they have written into the game. So they end up being one another's one and only. So that, I mean, it works out for them, I guess.
Aw.
Yeah, Nightshade apparently is her favorite flower, so it all works out super good.
Did you keep talking to him though?
He does. Yeah, he gives you. yeah, if you go back and talk to him, he's like, "Thank you so much," and he tries to give you like 20 rupees or something like that. And then she's like, "How could you possibly thank him so little for what he's done for us? Like, our life is entirely changed. Like, you need to give him more." And he's like, "Oh yeah, of course. This is what I meant to give you." And he drops like 300 rupees.
But did you keep talking to him?
I don't know if I kept talking to him after that. I was like,
how far
"There's
did
my
you push my
reward.
man?"
I'm good."
So if you keep talking to him, he goes, "Hey, psst, do you think you could slip me those rupees back?" And then she goes, "I heard you. Are you my vo or not? Don't ask a man for what you gave him back." I was dying. He tried to get him back.
My poor dude.
Man. That was my life savings, man.
Falling on hard times.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I'll give you rupees to Numar. If he hits it
He'll
big,
turn him into
we're all-
3,000, I promise. We'll all get paydays.
We'll all
That's
get
what he
paid.
said.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, I mean that's what I learned from Numar anyway. And then going back to Lurelin. Let's see what else we got here.
We got a quest to go clear out a local fishing spot beach a little bit to the to the west?
Eris Beach is to the west. Yep.
Because
And-
there's enemies that have they can't go, it's not safe.
Yeah. So you talk to Sebasto, who's just an interesting name. It's like Sebastian without the N. It just ends on the O. But Sebasto is like, "Hey, you know, like this is a fishing town, and tell you what, the best place to fish. Can't fish there right now, and it's a tragedy. And we really need to fish there, but it's overrun by enemy camps, basically. And there's just and you go over there, and it's literally like giant wooden scaffolding structures just covered in bokoblins. They've just taken over the beach. So you can go over there, have your little action mission. I mean, I was having a lot of fun just wrecking this place until I did a bad glide and fell into the water and drowned immediately.
No.
But when they put me back up out of the water, everything I killed was still dead, so it worked out. It was fine. But yeah, it was a fun mission. I definitely got some good rewards from it. I think they have like lightning arrows and stuff when you get over there. So a lot of higher level enemies too. But it was it's a really intricate water-based camp. So
It's funny. Then you go back to the guy that asked you to do it, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, thanks, that's awesome." And then you look overhead, it's like there's a blood moon. He's like, I
actually did trigger blood moon when I was here, and I don't know if it was right after that, but yeah, I got a picture of Kilton at night with a blood moon in the background.
and then just Link like looks over at him like, "Oh, you want to pay me to go take care of that again, there, my guy?"
I'll keep doing it.
I mean, you know, there's gonna be more blood moons happening, so I mean, I'm here.
Call
got you
1-800
that
Linker
protection
on every
service,
blood moon.
That Lunker Protection Service.
every blood moon. Just consider it a fee for the protection that we'll be providing.
Exactly.
Isn't that like the story on every game or movie that features a fishing village? It's like, oh, isn't this a fishing town? Why aren't you guys fishing? Well, it used to be until the monsters rolled in. Yeah. It's like every fishing village.
I think that happened in Naruto, and I don't know if it happened anywhere else.
Definitely happened in Scooby-Doo, Fallout, a couple other things I've watched.
Yeah.
Every fishing village.
I mean,
Always.
when a character arrives that's supposed to be helping people with stuff and they're at a fishing village, what more could a fishing village want help with than getting back to their fishing? So
Yeah.
that's, you put a blockade in between them and fishing, and that needs to be solved. So that makes sense.
In
Like,
fact,
man, we
my
were great at
ongoing
fishing until this guy poisoned the entire lake and it all died.
This went the total opposite direction that I thought it was going to, because when you first start saying, like, isn't that the story of every, like, what I expected to come out of your mouth was a mafia movie where they're asking for protection and money.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
You zagged on it so hard. It was like, you know, when the monsters are disrupting the fishing village. Always monsters for some reason.
it's always
It's really just old man Jenkins, though.
Yeah, he's like, oh, well, there used to be a town of hell, but now they're not.
He knows about a secret treasure hidden on a small little island out there. He's trying to keep all the locals away while he searches for it.
Mm.
Scooby-Doo plot.
My
was.
man said Scooby-Doo and Fallout.
And honestly, my D&D campaign right now has that problem.
We're in a fishing village.
We're in a fishing village. The
Can't
mafia just wants that protection money.
It'd be a shame if your fish didn't have adequate protection. Maybe a bunch of sharks might just roll in and eat all of the money. I don't know. Maybe you should pay us some money, though. Think about it.
Now, that would be the best plot ever. Throw everyone for a loop.
Oh, man. So we're able to help out Sebasto.
Good man.
And he has a family in this village as well. He's married to Kiana, who has a little cooking side quest for her son, Keenov.
He wants goat milk and something else.
Yeah, it's just that's all you need to do is bring goat milk, I think, because they already have the snail that they need. They're making seafood paellas, which is pretty good stuff.
Sounds good.
Sounds yummy.
It does, right? Sounds pretty good. But help them out with that. That's fine. I mean, you don't really get anything special. I mean, even after the mission, Keenov is still like, I wonder if we're gonna have seafood paella. I'm like, bro, you just ate one. Like, what? You need to stop being an NPC right now and get with the program. But he has
not with these days.
Yeah, he has another son named Zuta, and Zuta will walk you right over to another quest. He actually walks you to a shrine quest, and so this is he'll take you right along the beach, pretty much over to the Palmore beach where the Palmore ruins are. And this is the fragmented monument shrine quest, where this dude who's actually over there, his name is Garini. He's looking for these pieces of this monument that's been set up on the beach for who knows how long. But he's like, but it's fractured. Like it's in 3 pieces. Well, 4 pieces if you count the piece that's still there. And he's like, they should glow at night, so they should be pretty easy to find if you wait till nighttime. But I need pictures of the other 3 pieces so I can figure out what this inscription's all about. So you travel all around the beach. There's actually one that is like all the way over on Cape Cresia. It's like stuck in the sand, or no, it's on Soka Point. It's all the way over at Soka Point, like under a palm tree. And that's the farthest one, but the other 2 are a lot closer than that, kind of on Palmore Beach, or kind of in there's like a little shipwreck type area where the second one is, but they're pretty close by. But once you get him, he reads it and he's like, oh, like there's these 2 shrine spots. It talks about like 2 people kneeling, like one on each one or something. He's like, what could this possibly mean? I'm like, guy, we're right here. There's 2 of us. Let's do this. And you just go up on one of them and kneel down. And he's like, oh, you're a genius. I'm like, I just listened to what you said when you read the thing.
Monkey see, monkey do. I never thought of that.
So then he gets on his platform and the thing opens up. Now I'm gonna put on my tinfoil hat for y'all and start talking about conspiracy theories. Because this ring, this glowing ring, people have compared it to the Mirror of Twilight from Twilight Princess. I don't know if I see a perfect resemblance to that, but I get why somebody would say that. And the other like weird thing about this little monument is that it's a like teal blue glowing ring, which if you had seen the new trailer for Tears of the Kingdom, is kind of like a thing. Like a blue glowing ring is kind of significant. Part of the problem is that this was just a shrine quest and it ended at the shrine, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But weirdly enough, Zuta, the kid who ran you over here, has a necklace that does in fact look like a teardrop. And I just realized this today while I was doing research for the podcast. I was like, why does this kid have a teardrop necklace? Why are we finding a teal blue ring on this like ancient this ancient structure. I'm like, is any of this gonna be significant when it comes to Tears of the Kingdom? Like, it'd be hilarious if they just like made Zuta a sage or something, and like you had to like retrieve that necklace for like an actual quest. But
Sounds
yeah,
like he's a teaser.
he's a Zuta the teaser trailer.
Yeah, pretty much
in boy form. But yeah, no, it was just an interesting mission to play now that is all out on the table. But I don't know if any of it means anything. Probably doesn't. But it is very coincidental. A lot of times with these games, you find that just like having the same designers on more than one game, you just see connections that aren't meant to be anything, but just are. One other good example of this is like, like the fairies in Wind Waker they all have like pointed hair, just like Fi does in Skyward Sword, but it doesn't mean anything. Like they just somebody liked that haircut and gave it to both of them. Like it's just a design choice. Doesn't actually mean anything in the end. That might be what this is. Just somebody likes glowy teal rings and somebody likes teardrop shapes, and
Fi is the Omega Fairy confirmed.
Fi is the Omega Fairy. She left the Master Sword to go rule the fairies.
Yes.
No, I don't think that's anything. But
what?
All right, my tinfoil speech is over. But if it does become something, I'm going to lose my mind. My head's gonna explode. I'm gonna be like, "Yo, I knew Zuta was a sage," and then I'll be
told
y'all. And if it doesn't
Have a
happen, I'll be
special
like, "It was
episode.
just a conspiracy theory, guys. It's nothing. I didn't think it was anything anyway.
It's just a prediction. I'm sorry.
It wasn't even a real prediction. You knew I wasn't into it."
Takes his best, guys.
He was such an insignificant NPC. Why would he ever be a sage?
They're gonna reference him by allowing us to make Zupa soup in Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh god.
Zupa.
So who else is here? Only other person I got listed here is Mubs, who's the shop owner who sells a lot of fish.
I went in there and bought electric arrows.
Yeah, that's the thing that she actually sells. Because the thing is, like, why would you buy fish? Like,
When it's everywhere.
she's got some porgies, and it's like in the water right behind her is like more porgies.
I think she had a bin full of squid or crab or something that's like harder to find.
Yeah, that could be true. But Mubs is selling fish by the ocean. Like I just can't get with that business model. I get it in reality. I do not get it in the game, but that's okay.
It's mostly just the arrows, the electric arrows and the basic ones. Because everybody needs to buy all the basic arrows in every shop every time you go there. Because arrows, you need them. Keep buying them. Arrows.
Yeah.
Box of 10.
I mean, just to say, like in Wind Waker, like that would have been Beetle there on the dock. Like he would have been by the dock in his boat. But you know what I mean? Like there was a shop. So she has taken Beetle's ocean position, I guess.
And Beetle now wanders because he has no place to be.
She ran him out of business on the beach.
Get off of my ocean. I got a monopoly on the porgies out here. Beetle's always been more of a bug guy anyway, so it makes sense. So yeah, that's Lurelin. I mean, out on Cape Cresia, there's a little enemy base that I thought was important, but it turns out it's not connected to anything. It's just out there. I think that
was the enemy base that I tried to fight and then died and then gave up.
It's just like two Lizalfos out on a ring of boards.
It wasn't two.
It wasn't two. It was more than
the ocean, like the base that's like out in the water a little bit.
Yeah, it's got a little skull head on one side, and it's a ring of planks, and there's some enemies on it.
Yeah,
it's a very small base.
I was swimming over there and
got wrecked.
I got water shot.
Ugh.
spit shot. I don't know whatever they do when they shoot the water at you.
Yeah, when they water gun you because they're Pokemon actually.
How come? Yeah. How come everything in Master Mode just kills you immediately?
I asked that question to myself. I was at a tower. I don't remember what tower I was at, but there was a electric whiz robe at the bottom of it. And I drank an electro elixir, and I now have 9 full heart containers.
Yeah.
And by the time he was done with me, with the electro elixir, I had 1 heart. And I think that was just because the game felt sorry for me. It wasn't like it was supposed to kill me. I think it just was like, well, you died enough, so here's 1 heart.
The game's like, what? You don't have full rubber armor on too? Like, what are you doing, my guy? Like,
I get that a lot right now, actually. Like since I started the second playthrough, I feel like there've been a lot of situations where I get either smacked by a Lionel or like shot by a Guardian or something where I end up with half a heart left. Or like a quarter of a heart. And the game's just like, oh, you stopped just short of dying. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's that value of hearts I'm supposed to lose, and it's not that. So I feel like there's like a grace area where the game just kind of like compresses your damage to keep you alive.
It's like, oh, that was supposed to one-shot you? Here's a half heart.
yeah, it might be something in the coding, like your last heart is actually worth like 4 each quarter over like if you get hit for more than 5 hearts worth of damage, then each full heart on your last one is only worth like a quarter or something like that. Just so it gives you like a small grace period of if you took only 1 or 2 or maybe 3 hearts over your whole health, that it would just leave you with a tiny bit in your last one or something like that.
Yeah.
Personally, I haven't noticed that. Whenever I get smacked, I'm dying. Like when we were fighting the Va Ruta boss, like I got smacked a couple times and just straight up died because I was like, oh, you only have 5 hearts? Oh.
Yeah, it's like if I have a fairy, it's for sure just gonna take the fairy. Or if I have Mifa's blessing,
Grace.
it's for sure, or Mifa's grace, yeah, it's just gonna take that. But there have been a time, I mean, especially when we first started, like I remember fighting some big enemy early on with only like when I only had 4 or 5 hearts, and I was able to take a hit, and I'm like, I should not be able to take a hit from this. Like it should be killing me because I know when it comes down to it, and I have like 12 regular hearts and an additional 4 yellow hearts, it's gonna knock me down to like 2. So there's no way this should be doing as little damage as it is. But it was like, oh yeah, you survived that hit. I was like,
there might be like a
but did I, though?
scaling system that's going on. I don't know. Because like sometimes it, like what you said is true, is like I'll fight a blue bokoblin and maybe it's the weapon they hold. There's like a multiplier on that, but he was hitting me with like Boko spears on master mode. And I was losing only like half a heart each hit on master mode. But then a white bokoblin with like a tree branch, okay? Because I like smacked his weapon out of his hand, just one-shots me. And I'm like, one weapon does 7 damage, the other does like 2, and I get 1 shot from the one that does. I don't get it.
Yeah, some fishy numbers going on.
The higher color bokoblin or the stronger bokoblins and stuff definitely just do ridiculous amounts of damage with anything. Like they can just throw a rock at you and it'll do like 8 hearts.
Like a tree branch, though. Come on.
Wait. Hold up. You shot me. Just like, it's like actually I threw a rock.
Just turn around and one punch man's you.
He like throws a rock ever so daintily, and then it hits Link, and Link just like
it hits him in like his pinky toe, and he loses all his hearts. I saw that.
You got a broken rib. Da 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 da.
Now you kind of look like a burglar. Black long sleeve shirt, black beanie.
I heard black beanie, and that was it.
Yeah, saying how you kind of look like a burglar when you don't have your headset on with like the black long sleeve shirt and the black beanie, like you're about to go like robbing someone's house.
So the last thing that I want to talk about, because I think I may have stopped short. I definitely came over here though. Okay, there's another shrine along the beach, but before we get to there is a little like overhang thing. You know what? I am getting confused. So there's more than one. There's a big old coastline where I don't think any other significant things have. Like there's some guardians out there or something like that. But when you eventually make your way over to this area where there's a bunch of like stalagmites and stuff like that. Just big areas where the ocean. It's not stalagmites. I don't know what you call them. It's like
I think it's a natural bridge or rock arch or something.
yeah. That sounds right. Like the water is like eroded away the rocks, but not everywhere, and there's still pillars holding up like some of the land. And in there is a Guardian slideshow quest that is given to you by Loon. Her name is Loon, which is I'm sure supposed to hint at something about her character, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
Claire de Lune?
And Loon is in love with an ancient orb that she has lovingly named Roscoe.
Huh.
So she's like whispering to Roscoe about how great he is and how people need to see how great he is and how he shouldn't be shy because he wasn't talking back to the nice Hylian boy who came to stare at them. And is
this a Castaway reference?
It very well could be. Roscoe could be Wilson. That's a good point. But she says like what she really wants to see. Like she loves things that are ancient, that and smooth, which is an observation that you could make about one of these orbs, but I don't know if I would. And she says that she really wants to see guardians, the big ones, the flying ones, and the small ones, all the ones. So I did a little tour of Hyrule. I went up to Akkala and found myself a guardian that was just wandering around. I went over back to Tingle Island and got a picture of one of those flying guardians since I hadn't fought them yet. And then I ended up just finding a random shrine that had a small guardian in it and getting a picture. So it all worked out. I showed her the pictures and she fell in love with them. And then when it came to time to ask about Roscoe, she was like, "Oh, this thing, I'm over it. I got these like mental images of guardians now from all these great pictures you've given me, so I don't need this orb."
Roscoe, no.
So she abandons Roscoe real quick, and you can use him to get into a shrine on the beach there. And it is, a modest test of strength. So not only do you actually have to go get all these pictures of guardians, but then you have to fight one. Yay.
Woo. Is there a good reward?
I don't remember.
So then probably not something good like the rubber armor or something memorable. Just like, here's a Zoro weapon, I guess. Woo.
I mean, I could just look it up. See what this is.
I mean, if you don't remember it, it wasn't good enough.
Royal Broadsword.
Yeah, whatever. Cool, a weapon that'll break in like, another couple hours of gameplay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you go past that area at all?
No. I mean, I think I came down from the river to do that one. So I didn't actually go over to like Lavera Beach or that enemy base over there or any of that stuff. So that's about as far as I went. I think I stopped right at that estuary.
Oh, okay. It's not really like... Yeah, I mean, I went over to those beaches, but there's not really much over there. What I'm going to talk about is pretty darn close to the beach. It's just over the cliff. If you follow the beach line up the river, and then you take a right onto the trail that is over there, and you just keep going straight, there's a little tiny lake. It's kind of funny naming. It's Lake of the Horse God, and then it's Horse God Bridge, which is over the lake.
Yeah. Okay. I've been
So
there.
I went over there. Yeah. And there, I was just like standing over the bridge, and there's this platform of Octoroks and a Bokoblin was on it. And I don't think anything of those things. I just go on. Usually I get a soldier's claymore or something in the 20s or 30s, nothing crazy. So I was like, whatever, let's knock the Bokoblin off, grab the treasure chest. And I got one of these babies, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but I'm going to try if you can see the damage that this thing does.
I can't.
Oh, man.
It has attack up 26, so it's at 66 attack.
Oh, wow.
Demon Carver.
And then what's even more is right under this bridge, there's a treasure chest in the water, which might be there for you guys if you don't have the Octorok balloons. And I found this baby with durability up plus.
72.
So I got
Okay.
kitted out from Horse God Lake.
Okay.
And not only is you get kitted out up there, but you can get a kitted out horse if you get the quest that's along the way, where someone will tell you if you go to the other side of the river where Lavera Beach and A4NB4Y Bay is, there's actually a giant horse that's out that way.
Yeah,
And you can get
there's a quest for that too.
Yeah.
For the giant horse, for Ganondorf's horse out in the. I mean that's a ways out though. I mean that's in total grassland.
But you get the quest from like right by the river. You can start it.
Yeah, because the Highland Stable's right there, which is like the go-to for horse stuff. Like if you want to decorate your horse and put on different like gear and stuff like that, that's where you go. That's also where the EX quest is listed for the ancient horse gear, which can like let you teleport your horse and also give it max stats no matter which horse you have.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've been using that.
Get the book.
But that's actually kind of how I messed up, because I had Error, which is my horse, and I was riding along the cliff sides, like right where we started this whole conversation tonight. We're right past the Riss Peninsula. As I was going south, I actually was riding the horse up the way, and I had it on like the cliff edge as I was going down the shore. And at some point I ran into a stopping point right by it's called Spool Bite on the map, but I don't expect anyone to know exactly where that is. There's a big enemy camp with like a lot of lightning using enemies, and I fought them off, but I left the horse behind to do this. And then right after that section, it's just all cliffs all around. So to keep moving forward, I had to climb up a cliff, and I'm like, all right, I'm leaving Error behind. Worked my way down to fight the Lionel, and after I got done with the Lionel, I tried to call for Error, and Error was no more. So it didn't even say like it doesn't seem like Error can hear you. It just doesn't say anything at all, which is like worse. Like, why isn't it saying anything? This horse should be teleporting to me right now, and it's not teleporting. So I looked at the map, and there was no horse symbol where I left him. I was like, oh no, he done fell off the cliff.
Did you see if he was at the stable? Like to take him out?
Because I left him at the cliff, and then he was gone. It wasn't even 10 minutes apart. Like I knew where I left him. Like he just wasn't there. I was like, yikes. So I actually ended up having to go to the horse god, which is a fairy fountain basically. Which is right by there. That horse god lake and horse god bridge. Like that bridge leads you to the Melania Spring. Which, if that name doesn't sound familiar, it's because it's named after Melon.
Yeah, except that jerk wants 1,000 rupees to activate, and I was like,
"Listen, I'm sticking with Error, man. I went and I paid the 1,000, and I got my horse back. It was like I see that there was no ill intent here or whatever, so we're gonna go ahead and bring him back. But if you do anything to this horse again, blah 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 blah, you know that whole spiel." Melania likes to joke by being very threatening, and then being like, oh, just kidding. So, really cool interaction. Melania is a pretty interesting character if you are in need of a horse that may have passed away under your care.
So, like, just north of Lurelin Village is the shrines where you have to fight the 3 Hinox. Did either of you guys do that? I mean, I know it's not right on the coast, but it's pretty close to that village.
Yeah, the swamps, right?
Oh.
The Rebella Wetlands, Uten Marsh, and Hanu Pond.
I have not. I did not.
That
sounds like fun. I kind of want
the 3 brothers.
I did the arrow tactic on them because I was not about to fight them.
Oh, I did the regular fight. The hardest one was definitely the oldest one, and I feel like the only reason he was harder than the others is because it was raining there, which might have just been random. And all of the stuff like in the battlefield with him was really hard to climb and jump off of to get like arrow time. All the other ones had something really simple to just climb up real quick, jump off, and you could just repeatedly shoot them in the eye over and over again and easily do the fight. But the oldest one had only like one rock that was coming out at a weird angle that the game didn't quite let you climb right most of the time. That was like all you really had to work with.
Also, wasn't he the one that was surrounded by bokoblins too?
Yeah. There was also quite a few ads just around him.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
And nothing really too great in the shrine. It's one of the blessing shrines. You go in, it's free. There's a chest. I think all you get's like a weapon. It's nothing spectacular.
It was like a Thunderblade or something.
Actually, yeah, it might have been a Thunderblade. I think I got exactly one elemental weapon so far, and it was a Thunderblade.
Yeah.
It's funny how many shrines do that. It's just like you get in, it's like, oh, here's a big fancy weapon, and most of the time I have full inventory. I can't even pick it up, and I have to leave and just mark the shrine and be like, there's a weapon here if I need it.
I just chuck whatever my worst weapon or most used weapon in my inventory is and pick up the new one.
Yeah, I'll do that, but usually if I have a flame weapon or a electric weapon or whatever already in my inventory, I'm like, I don't need to stack.
Yeah, that
all
makes
this
sense.
in here. So usually my inventory has a bunch of actual like utility items that include things like the flame blade, because I can run around in icy areas with it on my back and not have to worry about stuff and, melt ice that way.
True.
It's just nice to have stuff like that, so I just keep it around. But yeah, so that's Oceans for you. We did it. We did
it.
The Oceans of Hyrule.
Eventide and Lurelin.
Lanayru, Akkala, Neclida, all the things. All the oceans.
Too many ocean.
Faron Sea, which is a thing, I guess now. So many.
All of the oceans.
So yeah, I think we got to tell some side stories too. I'm good, guys. Like I think we can leave it here and pick up on our next episode, which is actually the Rito Village in Va Meadow, if you don't mind.
I like where we're going.
All right, so let me just wrap this up real quick. Thank you all for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Again, we will be back in 2 weeks with those next two areas with the Rito storyline. Can't wait to talk about that stuff as well. But yeah, if you want reach out to us, you can find us on our website. All of our social links are there. Otherwise, we'll catch you next time on A4NB4Y.
Goodbye. You'll be missed. Thank you for listening.
Did you get all that?
In case this makes it into the podcast on the pre-recording, maybe you can call this the episode title, but I know I told you guys already, but I was playing Super Lunker Sunshine over here the entirety of this time.
You did mention that, yeah.
Beach line to beach line, Super Lunker Sunshine. I was on vacation for like 2 weeks in Breath of the Wild. Link's like, I'm taking a vacation. I'm strolling the beach for 2 weeks.
I don't know if Eventide can really be considered a vacation.
That's when the vacation went wrong. Every vacation has a problem, and that was Link's problem.
That was the wrong turn.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
That was when the hotel doesn't have your order ready, and you gotta go Taco Bell on your vacation, and you're really mad.
Get that 4.5 star Taco Bell.
4.5. What?
Where?
I don't know. I'm sure they have a gourmet Taco Bell somewhere, like over in Britain or in New York City. They have like a high quality McDonald's where they use actual like quarter beef patties for all their food, and it's like legit. There's
One of
only
the
like
biggest-
a couple of them in the world.
One of the biggest McDonald's in the world is actually in Orlando.
Oh yeah, is it one of those?
It's two
Is it
stories.
one of the ones where you can get like legit food made there too?
They have pizza and subs
Yeah,
and
okay.
salads. McDonald's pizzas, the McPizza up in here.
I'm sorry, I struggle to find or to call McDonald's food real food most of the time. But if they're cooking actual patties like on a grill,
McDonald's
I know
food
the
is
price is
the
way higher.
equivalent of.
I want a real Big Mac. Like I want a Big Mac with actual like quarter pound patties for it with the sauce and stuff. Like a good, like a Big Mac.
I don't know where you get that. For some reason I want to say France, but I don't know if that's real. There's like,
Well, you can look up how to make the sauce they put on it, and you can make your own. I mean, basically,
yeah, McDonald's sauce is just other condiments mixed together.
Yeah.
Like it's not. Yeah, that's not.
The buns are basically, I think the buns are almost considered cake because of how high the sugar content is in McDonald's buns. So you basically use like angel cake as your buns. That is honestly true.
Oh no,
That's crazy. You want dessert for your burger?
Potato bread would probably be a good substitute, though. That's
Oh,
nice.
potato
Thick
bread
and
is
hearty
so
and rich.
good.
Yeah, it'd be like I'm just thinking about this right now.
So like, me and my girl were watching this video about. It was like sustainability and like what foods are good and bad for you, whether it's vegan or just meat. And she was comparing McDonald's burgers to basically like a McDonald's burger is consistently half of a Beyond Burger. So you're basically eating processed Beyond Burger with like half a McDonald's. Now, I don't know how true these facts are or like if they've since changed their formula, their Krabby Patty formula since then. But like, I thought about that and I was like, I don't like Beyond is like horrible for you. So I was like,
I'm not familiar with Beyond.
It's just
Is that
processed in a
different than the
factory,
Impossible
grown from
Burger?
They're both the same. They're grown in a lab. Bad for you.
Stay away from that.
No nutrients.
But I'll say this though, Burger King is right now. I
I
don't
love
know why.
Burger King.
There was a legal dispute in, I think it was Britain at one point, where McDonald's tried to go after Burger King for using big in the title of one of their things or something like that, because like we have the Big Mac, and they lost the lawsuit saying you don't own the word big. So for a while, Burger King was stealing a chunk of McDonald's menu in that area, and they had like their own Big King, which is the Big Mac, but on the Burger King menu. And they actually have that right now at the one closest to me. I can get a Big King XL where they use Whopper patties to make, and the same sauce to make a better quality Big Mac. And I'll say that is actually an extremely good sandwich. Like Burger King is not terrible,
the
and
flavor
that is really good.
The flavor Burger King has for their burgers is personally better than McDonald's flavor.
I agree, hands down.
The flame broiled.
I brought this topic upon us. I'm sorry, but Burger King is better than McDonald's in my opinion. And get the
Burgers
Big
are
King.
wild. Let's go.
I just stopped at Burger King the other day, and their fries are like objectively better. Like they're just thicker.
But I think
better.
Burger
Like,
King
it's
has
just,
Not soggy wet noodle fries that are already partially cold or cold by the time they make it into your bag, let alone your hand from McDonald's half the time. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. I will say
think they just
when
have,
it comes
like, a
to
bad
sandwiches,
stigma.
I do enjoy myself a good Wendy's though. But the fries, I gotta say Burger King I think wins on the fries.
I don't typically go to Wendy's. Nothing against it, but
I like Frosties, so
Frosties are delish.
yeah.
strawberry
Then again,
frosty.
I like the milkshakes out of those processed machines in both McDonald's and Burger King, so I'm down for those.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a Shamrock Shake, you're not gonna beat that.
I love the
come,
Shammies.
come March, McDonald's is back to being king. Like that's just how that works.
Give me the Shammies, boy.
Chick-fil-A tried to get into the game of the milkshakes, and they made a peach milkshake. And it's like
Pretty good.
in theory, that sounds real good, right?
I love peach.
Yeah.
In theory. So instead of using like the really good peaches from the little cups of I don't know, the Dole cups. You know what I'm talking about? Like instead of using those really good, juicy, soft peaches that would just melt in a milkshake and they're already sweetened, they decided to use like, I don't know if it's just mine, but it was like hard, fresh peaches that like when you eat them, you're like, they still have like the skin on them and stuff. And I'm like, why am I eating this? Like it's healthier, but I don't want that in my milkshake. It's already bad. It's a milkshake. Give me the bad stuff.
It was a hearty peach, man. It's trying to give you health.
Oh my god.
So you need to cook that or make it roast, like soften it up in the ice cream or something. I don't know.
Got some roughage to keep you regular.
Maybe it might have just got too cold in with the ice cream. So when you ate it, it was already like freezing. So no matter what.
But it tasted like raw though.
Oh, well.
Like raw peach. Like it wasn't even ripe yet. And I'm like,
I think we should segue after our conversations and get into this